Hello everyone, this is Anthony here, and in this webinar we're going to build a little Robocop Ed 209, kind of a toy product display video. I just saw the new Robocop movie, and so I was looking at these really cool Ed 209 robots and figurines they have on the internet, and I came across this toy website. What is it called? BigBadToyStore.com, and they have this 10-inch Ed 209 figure here. That's pretty cool. So I was thinking, how would a person use the Clever YouTube plugin on this website, right? And so for toy websites, the obvious thing is that you'd have some sort of toy review, and there's some really good ones on YouTube. This guy here, Optibotimus, this guy makes these amazing toy reviews with this nice white background. He just films his hands using the toy there, but they look really good. He does really great reviews. Some of his toy reviews have millions of views, so I guess it's pretty popular. So what I did is I put together this sample video here on a little test website, and let's go over some of the features of this video. So we're assuming that, let's say we were selling toys or that we were doing affiliate marketing, and we did a toy review, and we're using the Clever YouTube plugin to embed the YouTube video. So let's mention a few things going on in this sample. We have this nice charcoal texture border here. We have obviously this animated flash button, which is pulsing up and down. We have this blue pulse right here originating from the center of the video, and we have a custom image. This is an image I made of the Ed 209 figure, and I put some text here on the top left. And we also have this time index so that the users would zoom to different sections in the video, and this is quite a long toy review, so they'd be able to jump around and see various parts of the video. And we have some other features. Let's go ahead and play the video. I'll just turn the sound off. Now you'll notice here in a couple seconds this buy button slides out from the bottom. This is called a magic button, sometimes called a magic button. And so this is a little button display I created. You can see I put the product in the back. I put the box in the back. I just did this in Photoshop, and the button is clickable, and it's just really an image, and it'll go to the buy screen at the toy website. Another thing you might notice is how the video did not start at the beginning. The video actually started about 2 minutes in right there, and that's because in the beginning of the video, the original video creator was actually talking about things that were not really related to the product. He was talking about a previous product, and so it made sense to skip this beginning portion here. So that's another thing you can do in the Clever YouTube plugin. You can jump around and start the actual video wherever you want. And a final thing that we might notice, when you get to the end of the video, I put a little link here so that we can fast forward to the end. You can see this video is actually 13 minutes long, and we're just gonna go fast forward to the end here. And when it ends, I have another image that comes up. I put this little cartoon text here that says "Buy me today." This is a picture of Ed 209 from the original Robocop movie. Of course, you can put any image you want there, but I just put this kind of movie still photo there. And that's another feature you can do on the Clever YouTube plugin. So not only can you control the final image that the user sees, but you also control the first image that the user sees. So in this webinar, we're gonna build this video from scratch, and I'm gonna try to thoroughly run through every step that needs to be completed to make your own little toy review video or product review video or any other sort of demo video for your website. So let's get started. So I've just created a new post in WordPress in the typical fashion, and all posts need a title, so I'm just going to call this new Robocop toy number 2, because number 1 was the one I already showed you. And here's just some random text here about the actual product. We'll paste that in there. Now, if you remember from the original, the video appeared right here below this first paragraph. So we know we want to put our video there. And the video itself is right here. It's the video on YouTube, and we can just copy the YouTube URL in the typical fashion, just like we would copy any URL from YouTube if we were sending it to a friend or in an email or something. So we just copy that. I'll do it again, and I'll just paste it in the Clever YouTube plugin meta box. So that's this little box with the orange starfish here. You open the expander by clicking the plus, and we can just paste that right into step number 1 here. And you can see that generates this short code. Now, if you don't know what a short code is, it's just a bunch of, well, computer code that WordPress uses to actually create usually media objects or some sort of programmatic object in the actual post content itself. So we want to put our short code, our WordPress short code, right here where we've typed the word insert. But before we do that, you might recall a minute ago I mentioned how the beginning of this guy's video was actually talking about a previous product. He was talking about this product from 2011. And we want to skip that part of the video because that part of the video doesn't really apply to us. And so I know that he doesn't really start talking about the new product until he gets to 2 minutes and 1 second into the video, something like that. So if I expand step number 3, I can go here and I can change the start time to 2 minutes and 1 second. And that will direct the Clever YouTube plugin to start the actual video once the video is at this time at 2 minutes and 1 second. That's where it's actually going to start playing the video when the user presses play. And one more thing we want to change actually on a collapse step 3 again. In step number 2, we have these 20 styles here that the Clever YouTube plugin can save for you. And the first video design was the one I showed you at the beginning of this video, and we're of course trying to recreate that, so we need to start with a blank design. So I'm going to set that to style number 2, and we'll start creating the settings for style number 2 in the next step. But for now, this step is done, so we just select all, copy, and I'm just going to delete my word there, and then right click and paste my shortcode into my post content. Then I'll just click update. Now we can go take a look at it by clicking view post. And we have the start of our video. Now you'll notice that there's no actual styling on the video at this time. The border is not there. We don't have a unique button. We don't have a unique image. So we got to go put those things in now. And so let's proceed to the next step. So let's go ahead and actually look at the 3 images that make up this particular Clever YouTube plugin video model. You can see here's the first one. This is the image that goes on top of the video player when the user first gets to the web page. This is a 640 by 360 image that I made. You have the toy on the right, you have some text on the left, and a little bit of background work here. In the next image, this is the buy button itself. This is an animated GIF, so that's why the lights are going off and on. So, you know, you want to have an attractive buy button that will slide out underneath the actual video. And image number 3, this is the Buy Me Today image that comes up at the end of the video. So it's important to have all 3 of your resources already online and ready to go before you start fiddling with the plugin. You want to have some idea of how you're going to do the design of the actual YouTube video. So you can see these designs are pretty simple. These are basically just 640 by 360 pixel images, and they're just typical JPEGs. So they're pretty easy to make. If you're not a designer, then all you really have to do is just tell your guy to make you a JPEG image that features the product. And all he really has to do is make sure that it's 640 pixels wide and 360 pixels down. And the reason we do that is because that looks the best for YouTube videos, because this is the aspect ratio that YouTube uses to display their videos. So yeah, for a custom video like this, you do have to make your own video cover image that features your product in some way, shape, or form. But that's not too hard. It's just a typical JPEG that you would make for your website anyway. There's nothing exotic about these images, just standard JPEG files on the internet. So now we're on the Styles settings page of the Clever YouTube plugin. You can get there pretty quick just by clicking the orange starfish here in the left menu of WordPress. And you might remember that in the initial step, we were showing you style number 1. Style number 1 is already taken because style number 1 was the original completed video, and we're making the video from scratch. You might remember in the previous step when I selected style number 2 from the drop-down box. So now we want to actually create some settings in style number 2. By default, most of the settings are just set to the off position because this is just a blank style. So let's go ahead and add some features to style number 2, and we can start by probably adding a unique name. We'll click the pencil icon and type in RoboCop video maybe, and change style name. Now you can see that the name has been changed here in the right navigation bar, as well as in the actual edit box itself. And now let's start setting some of our style settings for this actual style. For this one, we don't really want to mess with anything in the first set of features because the theme we're using is actually a responsive theme. It's just the default WordPress theme, the new one, 2014, which is actually responsive. So we'll just leave those settings alone. Let's check out part number 2 here. Now, in part B, in step B, we have 5 ways to actually display your YouTube video controls. In the first one, no video controls will be displayed on the video at all. In the second one, they pop out from the bottom and they're white. In this one, they pop out from the bottom and they're black. And in the next one, the controls will stay at the bottom of the video the entire time and they're colored white. And in the next set of controls, the controls will stay at the bottom of the video the entire time and they're colored black. So you have 5 options of video play buttons, which really are all pretty similar. But usually you'd want to pick either the slide out white or the slide out black. If you remember the RoboCop video, it had kind of a black look to it. So I'm just going to click the black slide out there. Now let's move on to the next step and head down a little bit. You can see in step C, it's asking us if we want a custom play button. And you might recall that we were actually using this animated red button for our demo project. There are lots of buttons to choose from here, of course, but we're just gonna stick with the animated red button and select that and move to the next step. And that was step D, where we had that blue animated pulse originating from the center of the button. So we're just going to put this to the on position, and that will make that blue pulsing light come from the center of the video, and that makes it more eye-catching. And now what about the next step? Step G here is asking us if we want to wrap a border around the video. You might recall that the original video actually was using a black charcoal border here. So in the built-in library, we have several different kinds of borders. But I'm just going to select the black charcoal one so we can make our new style look like our previous style. And the next sub step here is asking us if we want to have a shadow. And I didn't think the shadow looked very good for this website. If you recall that in the original video there was no shadow under the actual video, just clicking this box will put a little shadow under the actual charcoal border, but I'm just going to leave that in the off position. We'll go down a little bit more here to the next section. Step B, magic buttons. Okay, so this confuses a lot of people, but a magic button is just a button that slides out at a given time. You might remember that after running for about 4 seconds, that red play button slid out from under the video. There's the play button there. And so we want to have our button slide out as well, and we're gonna put it for about 5 seconds in to the playback of the video. Now you might remember that we didn't actually start our video at the beginning. We actually started the video at 2 minutes and 1 second. Now if we want our button, our buy button, to slide out later, then we have to put this value up here. So let's say that we'll have our button slide out at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. So to repeat, our video starts at 2 minutes and 1 second. That's when the guy actually starts talking about the product. And our buy button will slide out. That's why it's called a magic button, because it magically slides out from under the video. Our buy button will slide out at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. So there's about 4 seconds delay there between when the user actually presses play and when the button actually slides out. So in a more real-world situation, people usually put magic buttons much farther down the video, near the end of the video. That's typically where you'll put a magic button. And the idea is that you're trying to kind of lure the customer in by him watching a significant length of the video, and then just kind of revealing at the end that you actually have something to sell. And supposedly, from what I've read, this actually makes people more inclined to purchase your product. Now, I'm not really sure why that works or how much rigorous research has actually been done to prove this works, but some very, very, very big names in internet marketing use this magic button feature. So that's why we added it. So yeah, you have the option of using it if you want to. So let's go ahead and make a magic button. So we've set our time. We want our magic button to slide out from under the video at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Now, in this box, we have to put our HTML code for our button. So let's just start typing a link. Now, you do this in the same fashion that you would make any link, right? That's the typical formation of any link in HTML. And I happen to have the URL. This leads to the actual toy store checkout page. And there you go. Now I have a link. So what'll happen is at 2 minutes and 5 seconds, this HTML link will slide out from under the RoboCop video and say click here. But of course, we don't want to actually just have the words click here. We want to have the actual button code for our actual buy button. Now you might remember that this is our buy button here, and this red button with the blinking lights, we want that to actually slide out. So what we're going to do is, instead of click here, we're going to place some HTML image code, and we do that by just typing image and then source is equal to our link. And that's it. We've just completed our buy button. So if you don't know HTML, this might look a little confusing to you, but really this is just a typical link that you see on every single website. There's nothing exotic about this code. All it is an image that's clickable, and when you click it, it goes to the checkout page of the toy store. That's it. So there's nothing exotic here. If you don't really know HTML, you're probably going to have your designer help you with it. But in any case, this is just a typical HTML link to the buy button. That's all a magic button is. There's really not much magic to it, except for the fact that it does pop out at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Now let's go ahead and proceed to the next step. Would you like to show a repeat button? You might recall in the original video, there actually was no repeat button once the video was done. The only option that the user had was to go to the actual toy store page. So we'll set that to the off position. And step B is, do you want to show your own image? And again, you might recall that we have this funny comic image at the end. So I'm just going to copy that code and I'm just going to paste it right here because that's the image that I want to show when the video is done playing. So that will do it for our style. We'll of course just hit the blue save button, and now our style has been saved. We've saved the RoboCop video under style number 2, and now we're free to go and check it out. Okay, so here we are on our new post. You can see this is our RoboCop toy, post number 2, the one we just made. We'll come down. First, we see the paragraph that we pasted in at the start of this video. Then, of course, we see our video. And remember, we had a charcoal border in our style, which we selected. We selected this red flash button here. That's on there. We turned on the blue pulse here, which is pulsing from the center of the video. And another thing we selected was that we directed the video to start at 2 minutes and 1 second. So let's go ahead and play the video. And you can see on the bottom left here, if you look closely, it started at 2 minutes and 1 second. And right now, our magic button slid out at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And there it is, the red Buy Now button. Now, one thing you might remember from the original video, we're looking at the original video now, is that we had this time index at the bottom, and the user could click these links and zoom to various portions of the video. See, we just zoomed to time 6:11 there. So let's pause that and see if we can recreate that now. So we'll go ahead and go to our typical post creation screen. So we're back on our actual demo number 2, where we're actually creating our demo. And there is our short code where our actual video is. And so now let's create our time index. And the text we use was, be sure to check out these parts of the video. And I believe I put that in a heading. I think it was an H4 tag. And so let's go a little bit down and start actually creating our index. And we do that just in the typical fashion in which we would do any sort of sentences. I'll just put an X because I know that's where I want to put the short code. I'll put a dash, and I know that the first thing we zoomed to was the arm movement, and then we did extendable legs, and then we did RoboCop and Ed 209 shown together. And then we had a link that zoomed to the end of the video. So you can see I'm just typing these sentences in the typical fashion. Now I'm gonna make this into a bullet list by just clicking the bullet list button, of course. And so now, of course, I don't want an X here. I want to put the actual link to the time in the video. And to do that, we have to come back to our little meta box here, the Clever YouTube plugin with the orange starfish, of course. I'm going to collapse the video shortcode generator because now we want the time link generator, the last one here. And I'm going to expand that by clicking the little minus button. And this is a shorter generator here. There's only 3 steps, but we still need that original YouTube video link, and I'm just gonna paste that there. And so I know that at 3:25, I'm gonna type 25 here. I know that at 3:25 that the video creator started using the leg movements in the robot. So I'm just gonna do a copy here, go back up to our first X, and I'm just gonna paste our link to the arm movement at time 3:25, and then I'll come back, and I know that at time 6:11 the video creator started moving the extendable leg part. Oops, did I confuse that with the last one? Let's see, the arm movement was 3:25, the leg movement was 6:11. Easy to get confused there. I'm just gonna copy that, come right back up to the X and paste that. Yeah, that's right. So the arm movement of the robot was at time 3:25. The extendable leg movement of the robot was at time 6:11. What happened at the next one there? At time 7:49, the video creator was showing the robot next to the original RoboCop figurine. So we'll paste that here. And the video itself ended at, I think it was 13 minutes and 2 seconds. So we're just gonna jump to just a bit before there at 13:0. Copy that, and we'll paste that on the final X, and we'll click the update button and scroll down, and we can see that our time links are now directly under the video. So let's go ahead and click on one, 3:25. The magic button will slide out because we directed the magic button to slide out at 2 minutes and something seconds, and we are now on 3 minutes, and we started at 3 minutes and 25 seconds. If we want to jump around again, let's try jumping to time 6:11. See, now we've just jumped there. And if we want to see our image that's going to come up at the end of the video, we might try just jumping to the end. And you see the video ends, and our little end image with the little comical text here that says "Buy me today" comes up, and that's the end of our demo video. So I hope that wasn't too hard to follow. You can see with just a few steps here, we were able to create a pretty desirable, product video for our Ed 209 product here, complete with animated buttons and this appealing animated sonar here. And we're able to jump around at various portions of the video, and all of these features are only really possible because of the Clever YouTube plugin. So that will conclude this webinar. We'll be making some more in the near future, and if you have any questions, send me an email. Thanks.